والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. عن عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أربع إذا كنا فيك فلا بأس عليك إن فاتك الدنيا حفظ أمانة وصدق حديث وحسن خليقة وعفة في طعمة رواه البيهقي في شعب الإيمان وكما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Abdullah ibn Amr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that if you have four things in you, and if you have nothing from the dunya, then there will be no problem on you. You have missed nothing. If you have four things, and if you have missed the whole dunya, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying that you have missed nothing. First one, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, protection of honesty. Second one, truthfulness in your speech. Third one, beauty in your character. And the fourth and the last one, modesty and purity in your food, in what you eat. Beautiful hadith shareef. It was recited on Friday from the Kitab-ul-Fitan. Amir Sahib made a request that let us have some mudhakara. So many young friends, mashallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all highest category of shabun nasha'a fi ibadatillahi ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that on the day of judgment there will be no shadow except the shadow of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will be granted to 7 people. One of them is that young man who is being brought up into the ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whose teens and whose youth and whose life is coming up into the ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These young friends, they may have come on from Friday night and they spend 2 nights, 2 days into the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in return give them the highest category of shabun nasha'a fi ibadatillahi ta'ala. In fact, there are 7 numbers are mentioned. Many of them, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the category. Rajulani tahabba fillahi ijtama'a alayhi wa tafarraqa alayhi. 2 people, if they have friendship, they came into the Jamaat, they came for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they will go home, they will be separated because of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said 2 persons, they come together for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They love one another for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They come together for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They become separated for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them that category also. And one is mentioned, rajulun qalbuhu mu'allaqun bil masjid. Person whose heart is hanging with masjid. They spend this amount of time. They were always into the masjid. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them return that they become now hooked to the masjid, connected to the masjid. And young people, rajulun da'athu dhatu mansabin wa jamalin wa yaqul inni akhafullah. Young man is being invited by a beautiful young woman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. She invites and this person says that no, I fear my Allah. I have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all these categories. Amir Sahib said that let us have some mudhakara. I always share that Hazrat Maulana Ilyas Sahib rahmatullah alayhi used to say that whatever we do, everything is being derived from Quran and Sunnah. Everything is being derived from Quran and Sunnah. And that's why, sometimes we feel like begging some of those extreme brothers. They say, oh, no, I follow only with evidence. My friend, it is not our duty to find out the evidence. It is the duty of the highly scholarly people, not us. We will not be asked on the day of judgment that you did this amal. What was the dalil? Ad-dalil li ahli dalil. Dalil is for the people of dalil. And when you will go into this category, then you are going to harm your deen. No one takes up the book and reads and prescribe medicine for himself. No one does that. Everything is available now. Material on every walk of life is available onto the internet. You sit down and then you become GP yourself. Do you do that? No one does that. No one does that. But everybody becomes scholar. That is the tragedy. We're doing zulm onto the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you ask me that, do you know Dalil? I say, no, I am not the person of Dalil. I am an ordinary Muslim. People of Dalil, they derive ahkam and they grant it to me. I am obeying. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I don't know where this topic came up. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I was saying, Maulana Ilyas Sahib rahmatullah alayhi used to say that we have derived everything from Quran and Sunnah. They were far-sighted people. Who was Maulana Ilyas Sahib rahmatullah alayhi? Hazrat Maulana Manzoor Nomani rahmatullah alayhi writes that I came to hear about him. So I went to see him. I spent some time and he writes, straightforward, he writes that I was not very impressed. I felt that pious person, good person, I was not very impressed. And then I read article of somebody else. And he had written everything about him. That what type of deep knowledge he possessed and what type of personality is him. I read that. And then I went, he said. And then I went. And he said, then sometime he used to say one sentence and I used to hold my head just to understand that sentence. I came to realize that what a deep ilm he possesses. I used to sit down and then write and try to interpret what he meant. He said, I came to know because somebody else made me understand who is him. That's why Maulana Manzoor Noman himself, he had said that if you don't know somebody, it is not a big problem. But if you know someone half, it's a big problem. We're talking about these scholarly, pious, saintly people of Allah. We're talking about them. We're not talking about everybody. It's not necessary that we should know everybody. Jamaat is here. One of the fundamental purpose that, when our local masjid, that's what they emphasize a lot. Our local masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have a shortcoming. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we know everybody for the sake of Allah's deen. Not to be inquisitive, not to be nosy, but for the sake, why this person didn't come for salat, maybe he's not well, I should go and make an iyadat. So that is something else. But when it comes to scholars, Maulana Manzoor Nomani rahmatullah alayhi said that if any personality, if you didn't know him at all, doesn't matter. It does not matter a bit. But if you know someone half, then sometime it may harm you. Because you underestimate him. You under-respect him. You under-benefit from him. That's what happens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is what had happened. He is talking out of experience. When someone else's article he read, And he went to Maulana Ilyas Sahib. He said after that, he joined Maulana Ilyas Sahib, and until Maulana Ilyas Sahib passed away, he never left him. He remained in his suhbat all the times. In fact, I always share, I did benefit. Many of you will not be married, but when it comes to the wife, I think I have benefited a lot from his family, from Maulana Ilyas Sahib's family. One of the book Hazrat Maulana Manzoor Nomani Rahmatullah Alayhi wrote, and that is the biography of his son, Hazrat Ji Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah. Hazrat Ji Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi's biography is written by Hazrat Maulana Manzoor Nomani Rahmatullah Alayhi. I will just give you summary how I benefited, because these things you share with your wife, then they become very helping hand, very supportive. They expect like that reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, he was only an academic personality. He was ilmi personality. He joined this work afterwards. First, initially he was very ilmi personality. He used to be there with his father, but his father will do work. He used to be writing commentary. He has written onto the hadith shareef. So ilmi and academic personality. So he had not that good. Maulana Manzoor Nomani, he wrote beautifully. He said, when Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi became very, very unwell, so we were worried that who will become his successor. So Maulana Manzoor Nomani and Maulana Sayyid Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi Rahmatullah Alayhi, they requested to Hazrat Maulana Zakaria Rahmatullah Alayhi, Hazrat Sheikh Zakaria Rahmatullah Alayhi, that we want to talk to you. We want to have personal meeting with you. So Hazrat Sheikh Zakaria Rahmatullah Alayhi gave them time, tahajjud time, in one of the class at Nizamuddin Markaz. They both went and they said to Hazrat Maulana Zakaria Rahmatullah Alayhi that, see, we saw Hazrat Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, and people who are following, they are ordinary Mewati people. They are ordinary Mewati people. And we can feel that it is his time now to depart from this world. And we don't see any of his successor. So, and we are worried that these ordinary Mewati people, they love him so much that tomorrow when he dies, it is expected, it is feared that maybe they will take him in a wrong manner, over-respecting manner. And we will not bear that, because Tawheed is Tawheed. Personality, how great that personality can be. You cannot worship anybody. We cannot worship Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We worshipping only Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. So their Tawheed was speaking. They said, if something happened tomorrow, and if these Mewati ordinary people, they start paying over respect to him, we are not going to bear that. And there is no successor of him. So we request you that you become his successor. May Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, wherever we go, I think, sometimes this is easiest part, that you go to right and worthy personality and you loot treasures from his heart with one condition. If you have love and respect without committing shirk for the sake of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala, shortest, easiest, sweetest route. Wallahi. But we have may Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala give us that type of ability. So Maulana Zakaria Rahmatullah Alayhi, tahajjud time, mashwara is happening. He kept on paying attention. When they finish, said, tomorrow my uncle passes away, and if these people start paying over respect, the way you are not going to bear that, Zakaria will not bear that. So I am with you. Second thing, if Allah has chosen me to become his successor, I don't mind. But then he narrated his experience. He said, experience tells me that people, these types of people, they prepare their successor within their lifetime. But sometimes if they have not prepared somebody, It is Allah's sunnat, it is Allah's system. We have seen many times, we have observed that in his departing few last moment, whatever inner wealth he has, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transfers from his heart to his successor. So until he doesn't pass away, we cannot say anything. If Allah is going to take the work from me, I am ready. And if somebody will gain and receive this wealth of his heart, then we'll have to wait and see. We cannot decide. And you know, my friend, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not sent that many books. How many prophets Allah sent? Rijalullah, people of Allah, and Kitabullah, books of Allah. Two systems of Allah, people of Allah, and books of Allah. They are two systems. But if you pay attention, you won't find 100,000 books revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you will find narrations are many. Sometimes narration says 100,000 prophets came. Sometimes narration says approximately 124,000 prophets came. Some narration even said 200,000 prophets came. So people. You know, one another point, I feel like begging now to the audience. Until and unless we will not detox ourselves from the social media, all these talks will go in vain. Believe it or not. Oh Allah, make us detox from everything else besides Quran and Hadith Sharif. And if you are not detox, you go from that door, everything you left it here. It will not penetrate. Detoxing is more crucial than even these talks. So I was saying that many individuals are being sent, not books. And now, very cleverly, in a very tricky manner, falsehood and batil is diverting us from individuals to screens, to books, to what you call, to those softwares who are scientifically softwares. But according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our hearts are real software. Our minds are real softwares. Individuals are more softwares than scientific softwares. But they are diverting us from real software to temporary software. And again, Hazrat Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi. We're talking about their family. Hazrat Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say that deen nufus se aayega, nuqush se nahi aayega. Deen will come to you from individuals. It will never come from the pages. It can be hard pages or it can be software pages. It will never come. So I was just saying that so many individuals and books are not that many. So pay attention. Why? Why Allah chose this? Because deen bal huwa ayatum bayyin. I always say that there are a few fundamental reasons we started Fajr Sabah. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I have this nature that whoever will have talab will come for Fajr Dars. That's why I was not very fan of having after Maghrib and after Isha. Whoever will have talab will come. Never mind, that can be one person. And whoever attended regularly, Allah will show them when they will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will treat them. They will have reception, they will have welcome, they will have entertainment, inshallah. Because they are being entertained by Quran and Hadith Sharif. So that entertainment will continue eternally. So one of the ayat, bal huwa ayatum bayyinatun fi suduril ladina utul ilm. This ayat made me start Fajr Dars. There are few reasons. One of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that ilm, it is crystal clear ayat into the hearts of the people of ilm. That's why today, from the scientific softwares, the amount of information is being shared, even sometimes by ulama, it does not have no impact, because that is not hardly ilm. What Allah wanted, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept us for that. So because of that, before, I used to memorize every hadith sharif and I used to deliver dars. And this pandemic, we started very many subjects. So that's why now we are going through from the books. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that ma harche khanda aim, faramosh karda aim, illa hadith yar ke takrar mi kunem. Oh Allah, when we die, make us such that we forget everything beside you, your Quran and your hadith of your Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything can be forgotten. Oh Allah, that's our deal between you and ourselves. That, oh Allah, everything make us forget except you, your name, your sifat, your Quran, hadith sharif of your Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is, ilm. Ilm is into the hearts of people. It is very tricky attempt from the falsehood that they want to destroy Islam. So they are diverting our attention from Allah given software to science given software. So I was saying, Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah, I will finish it. I don't know from where to where I go. Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah, he was, so Maulana Zakaria Rahmatullah gave this mashwara that if Allah is going to choose me, I am ready. But we'll have to wait and see. Maulana Manzoor Nomani Rahmatullah writes that Maulana was very, very unwell. Then he improved in his health. Like Nabi Sassam. Nabi Sassam, in his departing days, first he became quite unwell. And then he was improving. And when he was improving, Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala went home, thinking that Nabi Sassam is now. And when Abu Bakr was radiallahu ta'ala at home, Nabi Sassam passed away. Maulana Manzoor Nomani, same thing happened. He thought that Maulana Ilyas Sahib now is becoming better. So he went home, and his home was quite far. Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah passed away. And he said, I couldn't even attend janazah, I couldn't attend funeral. When I came back, it was the night time. When I came to the markaz, first thing I heard that Maulana Yusuf Sahib became Hazrat Ji now. And he is given khilafat by Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah alayh. And he will carry on with this work. Maulana Manzoor Nomani writes straightforward. He said, I didn't like it. That it is becoming like a family-run business. Maulana Yusuf was having totally different mizaj. Maulana Ilyas's mission is totally different. So he said, I didn't like it, but it was a night time. I couldn't share with anybody. He said, I slept. Fajr, Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah, I think used to lead. He led Fajr, Maulana Yusuf Sahib. And after Fajr, Maulana Ilyas Sahib Rahmatullah used to deliver talk for long. So he said, I sat down and Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah started delivering talk. Maulana Manzoor Nomani Rahmatullah said, when I look down, I feel that it is the sentiments of Maulana Ilyas Sahib, it is the emotion of Maulana Ilyas Sahib, it is Maulana Ilyas Sahib speaking, it is same jazba, same passion, same tossing, turning, same worry and concern. And when I look up, it is Maulana Yusuf Sahib. When I look down again, my heart tells me that no, it is not Maulana Yusuf Sahib, it is Maulana Ilyas Sahib. And when I look at him, it is Maulana Yusuf Sahib. He said, as his talk was going along, I remember that mashwara of Maulana Zakaria Sahib Rahmatullah alayh, that these pious people, if they have not prepared any successor, then Allah transfer their wealth of inner being to somebody within moments. So he said, I saw that. He said, I saw practically. He said, then what happened? Then he writes, let me finish this. Just now you'll say that I'm taking too much of your time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our every second of life for his Quran, for himself, and for his hadith sharif. So, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us detox from the whole world. Oh Allah, may give us, jalwat into khalwat and khalwat into jalwat. That when we are with everything, still we are lost in you. And when we are alone, still we are lost in you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us like that. So Maulana Yusuf Sahib, what had happened? Maulana Manzoor Nomani writes that he used to go to Markaz very often. He said, once I was visiting and I came to know that his wife is being diagnosed with TB. And at that time, TB was like a killer, incurable disease. So he said, first night when, after arrival, first time when I met my wife said to me that Maulana Yusuf Sahib, what type of tabligh he is making? He doesn't even take care of his wife and she is so sick. So I said to my wife that maybe you didn't know he is taking care and you are just reporting. Go and pay attention. She comes back again and she has the same report that no, what type of tabligh he is making? He never comes to even say salam. He said, no, you check on him keenly. She again. So a few times, So even Maulana Manzoor Nomani, they had respect for one another. Now we talk Hazrat, and in your heart there is a big knife. And that type of hypocrisy, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the hypocrisy. Our Hazrat Allama Khalid Mahmud Sahib Rahmatullah used to say that, sometime I will appear to you very bitter, very harsh, but forgive me, I have no hypocrisy. Oh Allah, protect us from the hypocrisy. Anybody we love for your sake. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that purity, sincerity, and freedom from the hypocrisy. So, Maulana Manzoor Nomani, they had respect. So Maulana Manzoor Nomani one day spoke to Maulana Yusuf Sahib that your wife is being diagnosed with TB and I think you paying no attention. Husband's care is more than anything else. So Maulana Yusuf Sahib said that whatever you will suggest, however you will try to from me, whatever you want me to do, I'm ready. So then Maulana Manzoor Sahib said that I said to my wife that when you go to his wife next time, you speak to her in such a manner that, my husband is like that. He takes care of me like that. He does that. He does that. You talk to her in such a manner that if she is feeling inside, then she will throw everything out. So Maulana Manzoor writes into the book, into the biography of Maulana Ilyas Rahmatullah. He said, when my wife came, she said that when I started saying all that, Maulana Yusuf's wife, like husband, like wife, you go through their whole household, how Maulana Ilyas used to make sacrifice, how his wife used to make sacrifice, Maulana Ilyas's wife, and how Maulana Yusuf Sahib made sacrifice, how his wife used to make sacrifice. There is no time now. Maulana Manzoor Nomani Rahmatullah writes that my wife came and said that when I started saying all that about you, about my husband, she said, don't say anything about my Yusuf. In this world, whatever medical care one can provide, he has taken care of all of that. And he is busy with such a noble work that if he doesn't get time for me, I don't mind. Because that is more important than to come and say hello to me, to come and say salam to me. So let him remain busy. If I am being destined to be cured, then well and good. Otherwise we'll meet in Jannat. We will meet in Jannat. That's what she said. So where Maulana Yusuf Sahib was and where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated, because of the pious father's company. And everything from father to son. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all these young people, Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah used to say one sentence, I share always. In that one sentence, he has summarized our whole history from Nabi Sallallahu till today. He said, if you will give qurbani, you will enter into Jannat. If you will give qurbani, you will enter into Jannat. Qurbani doge, dakhile Jannat hogi. But then he said, अगर आप मुसलसल कुर्बानी देते रहोगे तो आसमान से उतरने वाला हर फैसला तुम्हारे हक में उतरेगा. When you will make constant qurbani, one qurbani ends and another qurbani starts. One struggle and one mujahada ends and another struggle starts for the sake of Allah. Then you will see that sun and moon and the sky and the earth and the mountain and the rain, they will be your slave. They will be your slave. And that had happened. Look at the life of Sahaba. You go through Hayatul Sahaba. That is what you will find. That everything was in their favor. Because their iman was founded onto the constant qurbani. So if you will give one qurbani and that's it. Maybe Jannat will be allocated to you. So that is your personal Jannat. What happens about making this whole earth Jannat? That depends on to the constant qurbani. And Hazrat Maulana Umar Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say, that's malfuz, inshallah I will end here. He used to say, and that is for young people especially, that deen baqadre mashaqqat aayega aur dunya baqadre muqaddar aayegi. Deen, knowledge of deen, sifat of deen, qualities of deen, it will come to you according to your mujahada, according to your struggle, according to your effort. And dunya will come according to your taqdeer. No matter how much effort you make, you cannot earn more dunya than your taqdeer. But deen, you can earn as much as mujahada you make. And we are taking it other way around. We will give our free time to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and whole time to the dunya, which is according to muqaddar. And deen is according to mashaqqat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding of deen. Whatever was said and whenever and whatever will be said right, it is from Allah and Nabi Sassam. And whatever was said wrong, it is from me and from shaitan. And Allah and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has no connection with them. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya awwal al-awwalin, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, ya dhal quwwati al-matin, ya dhal manni fala yumannu alayk, ya dhal tawul, ya dhal jalali wal ikram, la ilaha illa ant, zuhra al-laji'in, wa jar al-mustajidin, wa ma'man al-khaifin, ya ma'man al-khaifin, in kunta katabtana indaka fi ummi al-kitabi ashqiya'a, famhu anna isma al-shaqa. فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في أم الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده أم الكتاب اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فاقبضنا غير مفتونين اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقربنا إلى حبك اللهم متعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا أبدا ما أبقيتنا اللهم اجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا وانصرنا على من عادانا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يرحمنا ولا يخافك فينا اللهم اجعلنا صغيرا في أعيننا وكبيرا في أعين الناس اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب حبيبك صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم علمنا الكتاب والتأويل اللهم فقهنا في الدين اللهم اجعلنا علماء فقهاء اللهم اجعلنا من الراسخين في العلم واجعلنا من التوابين واجعلنا من المتطهرين المتطهرين واجعلنا من عبادك المخلصين المخلصين واجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمته